So that sort of segues us to a good next question. Back to you, David. I mean, how do we get there, right? How can the industry move forward, continuing to, maybe step on the progress that's been made, but what are the next couple steps that you see us having to take as an industry to help solve some of these gaps?
I think that, we mentioned VPPA. I think that we shouldn't just gloss over that. I mean, this is a law, for those of you who don't know, who's been on the books since like Blockbuster video days, that inhibits the ability for a publisher to report on exactly show level detail. And, there are some sellers that are hesitant to be kind of sued for the sharing that information. So I don't think that's insignificant. We're trying, in the lobbying work that we do in DC, obviously we have lots of things that we need to get accomplished: data privacy at the national level, AI laws, laws around kids, and we're also talking to folks around VPPA because it needs to be repealed or replaced or changed. Or modernized, yeah. I mean, it's totally antiquated. So I think there's some of that needs to happen. I do think there is some of the not created here syndrome needs to kind of be put in our back pocket, right? So we have television manufacturers, if they didn't create the standard, or they don't want to adopt it. And the thing that we hear all the time is, oh, I'm not being forced to. So when in a world, John and I were just talking before, where you have carrots and sticks, and the stick is always, well, I'm going to hold back money from you. It would be great if we can kind of have a higher order conversation at the industry that we're doing this to grow the industry. Rising tide floats all boats, and that's just education. And we're trying to do that at IAB all the time.
I'm curious if it. I mean, there are other channels, like there's FAST, there's the virtual MVPDs, where you can get more show level data. And eventually, I think the buyers, I'm curious what you guys think, is we'd be like, hey guys, we're going to buy there. Like we know what we get there. We're just going to start spending there more. Is that enough pressure, or is it still they're going to say, no, you got to buy our stuff? It's just too premium. You're going to have to buy it, or can you hold back some and say we're buying elsewhere?
Yeah, I think to your point, like the carrot or the stick, there's a vacuum that's been created right now where like contextual is making a big play, right, to normalize across this. And we can say, you have brand safety and suitability on one side and also targetability on the other, but there's, 50,000 contextual segments to be targeted. I think the value economics between at least like FAST and premium aren't there yet to be able to say one-to-one, but with that transparency, I think FAST is making a real play for its value, right? This is undervalued. You have transparency, and we can, we get a lot more signal that we're able to attract, and it becomes much more like programmatic because of just the scale and the ability to attach audiences. So, but I always looked at that as, that's the reason, all the, the Amazons, the Paramounts had a FAST component to be able to do that. I think it might come at the unbundling at their level, like the Amazons and Paramounts a little bit to split that. But I think they're in the right position to see that value economics between here's what I can show you and not, and to the linear point, like, or, where the spend goes. It's like a soda machine. It's going to go back and forth before we end up tipping it over, So.
Well, I think there is an important but here. I think it really depends on the advertiser and their budget. If you're a big advertiser, you don't usually have the luxury of just buying FAST or just buying VMBBD. You have to buy across multiple services. And I think that's where a lot of the pain begins. I think the last time I checked, the big FAST aggregators were under 5% of viewing share across the entire market. So there's lots of value to be had there, but even that viewing is divided amongst hundreds of channels and services. So it's a pretty fragmented marketplace. So if you are buying show level in a FAST platform, you may be getting a really valuable but pretty small audience, is my thinking. It doesn't stand comparison to, say, buying, mainstream linear television, which still delivers mass audiences with a lot of ad inventory.
Yeah, we definitely do have like small clients who aren't participating in the upfront in a really big way and aren't registering big budgets, and they're using the FAST channels and to buy their inventory. Yeah. Yeah, like scatter and just PMPs with trusted partners, and then they're getting more information.